the next question. Roots are feebly developed in hydrophytes, mesophytes, xerophytes and halophytes. What exactly is the function of root? The main function is predominantly anchorage and absorption. So, when we understand the main function of the root, we can solve this question. So, what are mesophytes? Mesophytes are the plants which require moderate water content for their growth, and xerophytes are the one which grow in a low water content, and halophytes are the one which grow in a saline water. So, hydrophytes are the one which are completely growing in a water. When the function of root is to absorb and anchorage, hydrophytes or the water is a place wherein the roots do not require or roots do not need to grow well for the purpose of anchorage and absorption. So, the appropriate answer would be hydrophytes. The next question is, a fibrous root system is better adapted than taproot system for storage of food, anchorage of plants to the soil, absorption of water and minerals, transport of water and organic food. So, what does the question say? A fibrous root system is better adapted than the taproot system for storage of food. Storage of food cannot be the answer because the adventitious roots and the taproot system are adapted for the purpose of storage. Fibrous roots are nowhere adapted for the purpose of storage. Absorption of water and minerals is mainly done by the taproot system when compared to the fibrous root system. So, option C cannot be an appropriate answer. And coming to the option D, transport of water and organic food. When there is no absorption of water and minerals in the fibrous root, there is no question of transport of water and organic food, meaning taproot system is better adapted for the absorption of water and minerals. So, taproot, when it is better adapted, option D will be well adapted for the taproot and not for the fibrous root. Sir, or the appropriate answer would be anchorage of plants to soil. Fibrous roots are formed in a cluster at the lower nodes of the monocots. For the anchorage of the plant to the soil is the better option. Next question, which says root cap takes part in formation of new cells, absorption of water and minerals, protection of root meristem and storage of food. When you have understood, please try to recollect the parts of the roots. So, the part of root includes the root cap, meristematic zone, zone of elongation and maturation zone. So, protection of root meristem is usually done by the root cap. So, the storage of food, when we have to discuss about the other option, the storage of food is done by the whole root system as such, whether it can be a tap root or a adventitious root. So, storage of food, the option 4 or a D is not an appropriate answer. So, coming to the option B, absorption of water and minerals. absorption of water and minerals is done by the zone of elongation and as well the root hairs. So, option B is not an appropriate answer. Coming to the formation of new cells. Formation of new cells is confined to the meristematic zone, so that cannot be a appropriate answer. So, what is the function of root cap? Here, according to this question, the appropriate answer would be protection of root meristem, because root meristem is the delicate region or a sensitive region wherein the meristematic cells will be actively dividing. So, in order to protect those cells, root cap is a structure which is appropriately placed below the meristem for the protection. So, option C, protection of root meristem, the more appropriate answer. Next, we will move on to another question which says primary root and its branches constitute adventitious root system, taproot system, fibrous roots or seminal root. What exactly is a primary root? I told you primary root is a one which is an elongation of radicle. The radicle extends into a primary root which in turn gives rise to a taproot, or the taproot further differentiates into laterals called as secondary and the tertiary roots. This constitute a taproot system. When the primary growth or the growth of the primary root is arrested, then what happens? A cluster of roots or a group of roots are formed, forming a fibrous root. So, primary roots and its branches constitute the fibrous root cannot be the answer, and adventitious root system cannot be the answer, because adventitious roots are the one which develop any root which are developed apart from the radicle are called as adventitious roots. They are the derivatives of the plumule. So, adventitious roots cannot be the answer nor the fibrous roots. The option left is the seminal roots. What are exactly the seminal roots? Seminal roots are the adventitious lateral roots which are developed from the ungerminated kernels. They are again the adventitious lateral roots. So, they are not the derivatives of radicle. So, the taproot system is an appropriate answer. The primary root and its branches. The primary root is the primary root which persists throughout the life cycle is called as taproot, and the taproot, its branches constitutes the secondary and the tertiary roots. So, the appropriate answer would be the taproot system.
ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ನೀವು ದಿವಿಗೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಹೇಳಿ, ಇದೇ ಥರ ನೂರಾರು ವೀಡಿಯೋಸನ್ನು ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ.